morning. This is Sharon from Cold Creek Nurseries over in Aiken, South Carolina. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about that golf tournament going over in Augusta. You're going to go, hey, what's that got to do with plants? That land used to be a nursery, and it was owned by Prosper Berkman. He bought that land back in the 1850s. He immigrated here from Belgium. He was a horticulturist, and he's actually known as the father of the Georgia peach culture. So he actually started planting peach trees, and he improved upon those peach trees. He also introduced new peach trees. Two that you would be most familiar with would be the Alberta peach and the Belle of Georgia peach. He grew over, at one time they said he had 300 million fruit trees growing on that property. Prosper had 3 sons that helped him run this nursery, and they produced and brought in actually plants from out of country to grow some of the plants that aren't native to this area, and a lot of those you'll recognize as we go through this video. He also founded the Society of Horticulture in Georgia, and he was the president until his death in 1910 at age 80. At this point, the nursery pretty much ceased to exist after his 2 sons moved away and started their own businesses. So the land laid idle for all through the 1920s. Bobby Jones then accomplished the Grand Slam of golf, and he retired at the ripe old age of 28. And he saw building this wonderful golf course and had to figure out where to build it. If it had not been for the Berkmans, which they have no idea of what they actually accomplished, he found this piece of land of 365 acres in Augusta and immediately knew this was the perfect spot for his golf course. Interestingly enough, he called the 2 oldest sons, Lewis and PJ, back to help him design this golf course. And they were 74 and 63 at that time. It was actually Lewis's idea to name each hole of the golf course after a variety of plants that they had been planted there. So hole 1 is represented by the tea olive. The fragrant tea olive, as you can see, is blooming now, also blooms in the spring. If you want to learn more about the tea olive, just go to our website and pull up my video on tea olives. Hole number 2 is the pink dogwood. We sell a variety of selection of dogwoods at the nursery. It's known, of course, for its beautiful spring flower around Easter, but it's also great in the fall for its foliage, and then gets clusters of berries on it. So hole 3 is represented by the flowering peach. We have a huge variety of peaches here at the nursery that you can choose from, and we also happen to have one of the ones that Prosper improved, which is the Belle of Georgia. What in the world? Not sure what's going on today. So hole 4 is represented by the flowering crabapple, which we always have in stock in the spring. Hole 5 is represented by the magnolia. Beautiful, majestic tree, blooms all summer. We have many different varieties of magnolias here at the nursery, from ones that only get about 18 to 20 feet to those huge majestic ones that you see. A little bit of information: when you go down Magnolia Lane at the Augusta National, it leads up to the clubhouse. There are 61 magnolias. Those were planted by Prosper and his sons in the 1850s by seed. So that's pretty impressive whenever you drive by that, see those beautiful magnolias. And as you can see, they're evergreen, and for some reason, I'm not sure, but evidently everybody thinks it's golf week around here. Hole 6 is represented by junipers. And this is a beautiful Blue Point juniper. We have several different varieties. This plant is evergreen, makes a nice statement in your yard or landscape. And we also have, each one grows to different sizes. So hole 7 is represented by pampas grass. You can call it pampas grass, whatever you want to. I call it pampas grass. So this is a new variety of pampas grass, and it's called jet stream, whereas the regular pampas grass, you know, becomes this huge 20-foot, beautiful, if you have the space for it. But if you don't, this jet stream only gets about 3 to 5 feet wide and does the same thing, still has the beautiful plumes. It would make a great addition to your garden. So hole 8 is represented by Carolina jasmine, which is a native plant here for all of South Carolina. It's also our state flower. Today's going to be a good day. Anyway, this is a beautiful plant. It's a vine. It'll grow on a trellis, on an arbor, wherever you want it. Blooms in the spring. You also see blooms in the fall. So hole 9 is represented by the Carolina cherry or cherry laurel. This particular variety here is called Everbright. It's about 8 to 10 feet. Has white flowers in the spring, and then is followed by black berries. So hole 10 is represented by the camellia. And as you can see, we have a large variety of them. This is actually Camellia sasanqua, which blooms in the fall, and Camellia japonica blooms in the spring. You can also go on our website and watch my video about camellia. Hole 11 is represented by the white dogwood. We had the pink dogwood at hole 2, and this one at hole 11. And nice thing about the dogwood is when it gets those little berries, it also is a pollinator, but it also attracts birds or birdies. Hole 12 is represented by golden bell or forsythia. This is what it looks like in the fall, which it has dropped most of its leaves, but it does have beautiful reddish foliage in the fall. In the spring it comes out before it gets its leaves with these beautiful yellow golden bells, and just is a highlight to any garden. Hole 13 is represented by the azalea. I think we're all very familiar with that. These are a selection of encore azaleas, which you see are blooming now, and they actually replanted, dug up 400 azaleas on the golf course to move to this hole. What are y'all doing? Guys, get back to work. So hole 14 and 15 is Chinese fir and firethorn. And unfortunately, we don't have any of those here at the nursery right now, so I can't show them to you. But if you're looking for them, we'll find them. So hole 16 is represented by the redbud. And we have rising sun, which has a yellow leaf. We have forest pansy, which has the nice burgundy leaf. They start off with the beautiful lavender clusters of flowers going up and down the stem in the spring. We have several different varieties that you can choose from. Is that Ricky Fowler? He shops here all the time. Hole 17 is represented by Nandina. People also call it heavenly bamboo. This is what I call grandma's Nandina. Used to be outside, got 8 foot tall, covered in clusters of red berries, and that's the most common one that people refer to. But now they have several different varieties here at the nursery that you can see. We probably have 7 or 8 different varieties of Nandinas that don't get huge, stay in that 2 to 3 foot range, which may be perfect for your landscape. Hole 18 is represented by the holly. There are a lot of different varieties of hollies that we have here at the nursery. They get a beautiful white cluster of flowers on them and then produce berries, which turn a nice bright red in the winter. We have all different varieties for your landscape, anywhere from 2 foot to 40 foot.
4!
Oh my gosh, y'all, I gotta go. If you want your yard to look like the Augusta National, come on over and see me, and happy golf week.